we said. Think of what we say. Drafting more important than ever before.
Yeah.
OG come out. It's like 10-1 to start. They're like 8K behind. 15 minutes. Anna doesn't give a damn. He's like, I'm getting Ags. I'm getting level 15.
I'm gonna
Once
farm
he
this
has
triangle.
it's just OG seemed to just march steadily on to victory. No problems. Like that's beautiful.
And it felt like NIP actually played the beginning of the game, right? They knew this IO. They probably knew the plan. They're like, wait, we got to go try to stop this triangle. And they did for a bit, but eventually you can't kill anyone.
Yeah, you
Because
can't
Tree,
stay there.
IO, Wind Ranger, yeah, exactly.
And it's your point that you made. Like, you're not killing towers. So in the early game, like, you can control this area of the map. But if the towers don't die, like, eventually you're going to be forced out.
And I don't believe they only got the one tower top. Was that the only tower
Yeah.
that died? I know middle tier 1 was still standing at
Yeah.
the end of this game, which was, I believe, 40 minutes, which is Tree and Protector.
Usually
by
what
Garrett.
happens is if you're down by 7K at that point in the game, you've lost all your towers
Yeah.
so that you continue to lose net worth on the map. Like the 7K will then turn into like 8, 9, 10. But like they're down by 7K and they're just both farming. Like both teams are farming. OG's still hitting their timings. And I think the funniest thing like about this game is like if OG's not your favorite team to watch already, like how is that not
And
after that game?
I
what the
want to
heck?
put this in perspective. Like, you compare them to EG, right? And think about, why is OG succeeding where EG is? And I point to the creativity. Like, more than ever before, we said 91 heroes picked yesterday. Everything is viable. Anything can work. And there are multiple teams at this tournament that are just, like, where's the creativity?
Yeah.
Yep.
Where you can't come back with these,
It's
not just
true.
creativity, I mean just bad draft. But
Also-
I don't want to play.
You know, talking about creativity, I saw one of the heroes that actually wasn't picked. You know, we'll still talk about this game. We're not going to break. If you want to listen to us
Yeah.
talk about Dota, this high level fun Dota,
Mm.
what happened to Clinks? NIP loves this hero. It was actually unpicked day one. I thought it was
I thought
It's been
Clinks
pretty
was
picked,
definitely
right?
going to see like
Yeah.
9th, 10th pick a lot. I
Yeah.
thought like his team fight ultimate contributions, like just being able to lay stuff on the ground that
Yeah.
does a lot of
you
damage.
can't really do
I
anything about.
think the lack of wave clear until the Ags is picked
Yeah.
up, and the lack of spell casting seems very valuable, especially on 4 positions. We see a
Okay.
lot of Lena's. We saw some Phoenix. You know, heroes that can just straight up turn man into damage. Whereas Clinks just
Yeah,
It's not the
he's
same.
kind of a wonky hero. I feel like he's like 1 or 2 buffs from just being absurd, but
Yeah.
he does kind of do like a lot of. He's a jack of all trades kind of hero. Decent team fight, like decent pick off, decent like laning, but there's no like this is what Clinks is really good at. But I just want to say about Ace, like we talked about the item build, and I feel like whenever I see people's items and I'm like kind of questioning it, I feel like whenever anyone makes a mistake itemizing, it's just you poorly saw what the game was going to be like.
Yeah.
And I think that is a tribute to the fact that if you look at OG's draft, yeah, you know the Ags, IO, yeah, you know, but like, do you really know like what the game's gonna look like at 25?
You know
minutes?
what's gonna happen. You know what they're gonna do, but you don't know what it actually looks like.
Yeah. You've never seen it. That
I
was a lot about
100
experience.
Hmm?
Yeah,
It was good.
Bruno.
You want to say hi to the store? What do you think about that game, Bruno? Come over here.
It was pretty good. No, what I need to tell you is to make sure that you don't mute the chat wheel sounds.
I didn't.
We would never mute the chat wheel sounds.
Yeah,
They're
OG's.
not. They're not. OG was spamming.
Who do you think we are, Bruno?
Bruno has no faith. No faith.
Oh,
Indeed.
No.
But yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if he knows we're still.
Yeah. If you didn't know, Bruno was over here talking, and you know we're still
We're
just
supposed
chatting.
to take a break.
Yeah, we're
but he
supposed
don't.
to
You
not
know,
be doing
that's
this.
a good look because you know he thinks we're just chatting up about Dota friendly, but
Yeah.
we're not. We're talking to you guys, and so this Slark.
Wait,
What?
real fast. I don't want to flame his items too much. I don't
Yes.
think they were perfect, but this is a tendency I have, and I think it's a tendency you have, where you look at the items and we tunnel vision on them. Realistically, what do you do to win the game? If that is an even game at 25 minutes, how does Nip win? Honestly.
Well, I think the point about the Slark pick this game was that he had to be able to just soak. Like, he actually just had to set up for the rest of his team to be able to play the team fights easier. Like, if you watch this game back, Slark had to ult, like, halfway, like, 3 seconds into the fight
Yeah.
almost all the time because he has 15,000 net worth and Shadow Blade's 2,800, MKB's, like, that's 7,000. Midas makes it 9,000.
Look, he has zero survivability.
You have
items.
9,000 gold of 0 health.
Yeah.
Like 0. So I was just thinking, like, if you buy items that just tank you up and make it so that as you're getting stunned, maybe you can hold your ultimate and then after all the abilities have been expended, hit some people. because that's what when you third pick Slark, you're not having a Slark game where he's going to have 50 S and shift stacks,
Yeah.
killing everybody. That's just not going to happen. So I saw him setting up the draft that way. So it's like kind of confusing to me because he played it like it was a perfect Slark game, and it wasn't. So, but at the same time, like it's hard to be like, yeah, he should have known. Like,
Yeah. It's just too hard to know when you haven't seen this strategy before running at you.
yeah, there's
Like,
so many times where, like, in Dota, you know how to make the right decision because you're like, I recognize this situation. It may not be the exact same, but I've been in this spot before, and last time I didn't buy this item, and I lost the game.
Okay, but what you have to your point? There's never been a spot.
No,
like
that's
right?
right.
Yeah.
You've never seen a level 15 carry IO Ags. You know,
Yeah.
you've never seen this. And
Dude.
the Wind Ranger Ags, like, he went second item Ags against a bajillion magic damage.
Mhm.
And it was all because you get 2 win runs and you have no cap move speed. So him and the IO are 650 move speed.
Again, like not to
Permanently.
not to name names, but you know we saw EG play yesterday in that game where they had Kunkka Lifestealer, right? Where Sumel's going for the item best for his game, the Radiance,
Yeah.
which then removes it from Arteezy's potential itemization.
Yeah.
OG of all teams in Dota, I think, is the best at ensuring that the itemization and the play complement, like, ensures that their team is at its highest performance.
Yeah.
Like, you don't necessarily want to go second item Ags in that game as a Wind Ranger.
Yeah.
But because of the composition, that's the best
should,
choice.
and he
It
does.
specifically
Exactly.
buffs up your carry hero who is now hit their timing. So
Yes.
your timing now buffs up the guy who just hit his timing. And I think, like, that's understanding your role in the game. Understanding your role in the game is not only looking at the enemy heroes and being like, we need to be able to counter this and deal with that, but looking at your teammates' heroes and be like, these heroes do this, these heroes do that. This hero's problems this game may be like, you know, if with Seb, his pure job this game is to initiate. Like, he has to be able to go in and position himself properly in the fights. He goes Blink Blade Mail, and then he has this, like, Shadow Blade. Like, even the Shadow Blade, it's like, that makes it so Seb's never going to be the one that gets initiated onto. That's the idea with the Shadow Blade. He's, like, positioning himself in invis, and then he blinks and catches people. Like, you just they just know it. Like, I don't know. I watch OG and I'm just like, yeah, those items, they all make sense. I was like questioning the Ags. I'm like, wow, like why would he go Ags instead of BKB? And then you watch the fight and they win, and you're like, oh,
That's another thing I love about OG. They've always stressed damage reduction over damage.
Yes.
I guess not avoidance. What's the term for it?
Mitigation.
No,
That's the only other
mitigation
word I
and
know.
reduction is the same. That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking. Mitigation over not avoidance. What is it? Over immunity.
immunity. Yeah, I was thinking immunity,
Like,
but I know what you mean.
There's a lot of games where instead of the early BKB, and again, remember, the later you buy BKB, the better. Because
always
it's
get
not,
that 10
you can't
second,
rebuy it.
Yep.
It's always going to go down in duration each use until 5. And they stress reduction because it means that, like, you can't really... You can mess up when you buy BKB. You use it too early. You
Yep.
run out of time. Like, stats are always good.
Yep.
Reduction is always good, and it complements damage reduction. It complements healing. It's just you soak the damage, which means that 'cause if I have a BKB and my team doesn't, they're just going to go for my teammates.
Yep.
If we're all tanking and I make myself the target and welcome
What are
this
you gonna
damage,
do? Oh.
I'm soaking it and keeping it away from my teammates. No Tail, he died a bunch in that game, sure, but there were a ton of clutch disruptions, and I put that on OG, just effectively ensuring that one of the cores was going to get targeted because they're just so in.
I loved it during like the Roche fight. It's funny to say because it's kind of the 5 positions job, right? But there was a ET splitter that was like going down the high ground, like everyone on OG was gonna get hit,
Yeah.
and No Tail is like positioned correctly, and he just straight up walks into the middle of the fight and disrupts the Ana IO. Or no, it was Thompson.
Thompson.
He disrupts Thompson and just dies instantly because he just got hit by Splitter and everything else.
But
And
good
was
for the team.
And then that was the fight that Thompson lived with just a sliver of HP. And it's just so cool, like, to see exactly people understanding where they fit into the grand plan of the game of Dota.
Yeah.
No, go on.
Well, I was thinking a lot about because I love drafting. I think more than Dota, honestly.
Oh,
like I like
yeah.
the Dota, but to me, like I would just draft. Like I just love it. And you look at this tournament, you know, I've always felt like Puppy and PPD were the best Western drafters. I feel like whatever the hive mind that is OG, all right, they are, I think, by far the best developers of strategy. They
Oh,
are
absolutely.
the Hannibal of Dota.